That way, it's more accurate. So I have a YouTube channel for my art, specifically speed paint story times, that sort of thing. Um, I haven't updated there since about September, for several reasons. I'm kind of going to go over just last year in general because last year was shit. My little sister left this world voluntarily, let's say, because that's what happened. Um, on at the end of January last year, and it sucked. There's no other way to say it, but it sucked a lot, and it was really fucking difficult, especially the first couple months after. And so I struggled and took a break from YouTube at that time, and then I slowly started to go ahead and get back into it and things like that. I told myself that I was getting better, that things were fine. And then the Black Lives Matter protests started happening, and it was just all the easier to pretend that things were fine because I am half black, so racial injustice is something that I am very, very passionate about because it affects me directly. And so I was super outspoken about it. I was driven to talk about it and to continue up my YouTube and everything. And all throughout it, I was telling myself, I'm fine, I'm getting better. And all the while, I was beating myself up for feeling better, for feeling any semblance of normal because I didn't feel like I deserved it. I was here and Naomi isn't. Um, and all the while, slowly, I was just getting more and more tired. And the reality of it was that I wasn't okay. I just wasn't. I was just ignoring when I would feel sad and avoided things that would make me feel even more sad to get through things, basically. So as September came around and everything, just all of that slowly became harder and harder and harder to really ignore. And it was something that consumed me and made me feel just tired and like everything was pointless. And it started in September, but it lasted for such a long time. And at first, I told myself that it was just because I needed some med changes, and maybe that was part of it. But the reality of it was, I wasn't allowing myself to really process all that had happened. And so I put myself in a bad place. That's what it comes down to. I put myself in a bad place because I ignored for so long all the warning signs. By the time I finally said, you know what, let's go ahead and try to change these meds, that I didn't make that decision until like mid-November. And by that point, things were already no, I actually did start to do that like in beginning of October really, but like mid-November was when I finally reached a point where I was like, okay, meds changes still aren't working after a full month of trying to work something out. Maybe I should add therapy on top of it, that sort of thing. And so I started to see a therapist, and we started to talk about taking DBT sessions and about how long that process would be. And me going into it, I was like, okay, I feel like I'll be fine. I'm strong enough. I can last another 6 months, 6 straight months of just feeling like shit. And I lied to myself because the reality of it was, by the time that it hit mid-November, I had already had to have my best friend come over and stay with me 3 or 4 times because I didn't feel safe. So going into December, I was just feeling more and more tired and defeated and hopeless. And I came to the realization that I didn't know if I could last 6 months. I didn't know if I could make it through DBT sessions feeling the way that I did. I did not know how much longer I could trust myself because I was just so tired of having to watch myself and monitor myself and try to keep myself safe. So I made the decision to talk to my general practitioner about going into maybe, like, I felt so bad that at the time I was like, I'm going to need months to recover. So I was looking at long-term options. And they're like, okay, well, you know what? We have to do short-term first. And I went into that appointment thinking, oh, we'll just discuss it, which was just a stupid thought to even have. Because as soon as the words I don't know how much longer I can last came out of my mouth, that's an instant red flag. And rightfully so. So I went to a mental health facility that same day, and honestly, the facility was very nice. It really truly was. It gave me a place to just be sad without judgment and just allow myself to be just sad. That's the only way I can describe it. Like, I basically spent the first 5 days or so there just listlessly staring at things and ignoring people and staying in my room and crying, really. And I trusted in that process. I gave all my trust over to the healthcare facility, which I know that there's healthcare facilities that aren't the best. I really, truly do. But I was at a point where it was like, you know what, either I go at home or I go here. That was my thought process. So I shared every little thought. I shared when I came up with a method while I was in the facility. And I just, like I said earlier, allowed myself to be sad in that space and allowed myself to just wallow. And it helped a lot. It really did. The fact that I had nothing else to do but sleep also meant that I got caught up on sleep that I didn't even realize I was missing out on, and it helped so much. Like, the difference between when I got discharged to when I was in there was night and day, and it allowed me to grow the hope that things could get better and could be better. And they are better right now, not perfect. By any stretch of the imagination. I've come to a lot of realizations that have hurt. Some personal family stuff that happened just before I went in just crushed me even further for a little bit. And I still miss Naomi so much. And I struggle with it so much. And with allowing myself to still be sad in my everyday life to the point that it's overwhelming. The depression itself is a little bit better, though. I've also come to good realizations about myself, like how open or unopen I want to be in regards to me being non-binary. That was a pretty cool realization to come to, was me letting go of this control I gave someone in my life over how I felt about things and how I wanted to move forward when it came to that type of thing. And basically choosing to just say fuck it and be relatively open about the fact that I am non-binary and be called Stefan and go by they them pronouns whenever possible, all that stuff. And that was an awesome moment for me, but it's still been hard. Depression, like I said before, is much better, but I'm very much struggling with anxiety issues at this point. Like, even me doing this right now, I'm working on anxiety surrounding digital art in general, essentially. I spent, after September, I spent so long just avoiding it because, like, I wanted to avoid my own thoughts and I didn't want to. It felt exhausting to do anything creative, and I was just so scared of having sad thoughts that I just completely and totally avoided the act of creating altogether. And I think that it's really caused further anxiety issues because of that. Similarly, I'm having anxiety issues about work because for a long time there, going to work just made me want to quit my life altogether, basically. And so now that's turned into just anxiety issues in general that I've been struggling with. I'm working on trying to get on daily anti-anxiety meds to help with that. But it's a long process, and it just all around sucks. I'm doing this on my Twitch stream, on my Twitch channel, which is mostly video games usually. But I'm intending this to go up onto my YouTube channel that is for usually my speed paints and things like that as a sort of update thing. This piece is also meant to be. It's meant to take apart, or not take apart, but be a part of the two exercises that I'm trying to do in terms of my therapy. Which exercise number 1 is drawing on days which I would normally work on, because right now I'm not working because of the anxiety issues. But drawing on days that I would normally work on to try to help with my anxiety. Like, even as I'm doing this, I'm both feeling incredibly sad and incredibly anxious, which is always like a fun thing. And also learning to tolerate how to be sad again without fearing that I'm going to get stuck in a dark place and not want to crawl my way out of it. So that's kind of why I'm doing more of a abstract thing that's supposed to just kind of be made up of colors of whatever I'm thinking of right this moment for how I'm feeling. 2020 sucked. A lot. It took a lot out of me. I wrote a script and everything for a video before I decided to do this live thing to kind of test the quality of the video. And writing down everything that I had been through, everything that had really been affecting me, kind of hit home how much it sucked. And kind of hit home how much I struggled and how not okay I was. It was difficult to really see that written down. It's difficult to really think about it for any period of time. But I need to, because bubbling things up is what got me to December. And it is probably what's causing me a bunch of anxiety issues now. So yeah, that's basically just what I've been dealing with. And I know that it just sounds like, oh, Lynn's just whining about their life, and I can totally understand why you'd feel that way. But I just wanted to also talk about what I wanted to do moving forward. Like I said, eventually I want to be able to do art streams consistently. hence me testing this out right now, because I want to be able to get a computer with at least a 8 gigabyte memory for streaming purposes. Right now I'm just streaming from my tablet from the Twitch app to kind of just test what the quality would look like at 720p, basically. Excuse my annoying snuffles. But I also kind of wanted to update what that would look like what moving forward would look like for me, because the reality of it is, while that is something that I want to be able to do, I'm not all the way there yet. You know what I mean? It's still going to be a while. And what I'm most likely going to do is focus more on doing not just abstract pieces like this one that I'm doing right now, but also more concentrated pieces where I'm actually factually making a subject and things like that, and doing full-on compositions that you can recognize, like my usual stuff, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's gonna be a while before I can do my more usual stuff and do commentaries with it like I normally do, let alone speed paints. So what I'm thinking of doing is, again, focusing on me being able to just produce digital art without getting myself into a panic attack, essentially. And then slowly transitioning into posting it on social media and putting it up on YouTube. And most likely that'll mean that when I post it up on YouTube, it will be just, at least for a while, just what's the word? Just the music with the speed paints. So not so much speed paint commentary. Once I do feel more up to doing speed commentary, once I am not always consumed by how much I miss Naomi and the other shit that's going on in my personal life that I don't know if I feel comfortable talking about, as weird as that may sound. Like, as soon as I actually can talk about other stuff without feeling like a horrible human being or just being overridden by anxiety, as soon as that happens, will probably be when I'll actually start to stream drawings. If that changes, I'll probably update my Instagram talking about that, but that is the current plan for now. Thanks for watching this rambly update video and this abstract speed paint. I kind of really dig how it turned out, honestly. And y'all have a good one.